wonderful, wonderful guest today, and I am so thrilled to have David Lefty Foster here with us to talk about what's going to be happening tomorrow on the Shaboo stage. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, it's so good to be here and to be with you, Susan.
This is great.
And the mystique of Dennis. Dennis, get off the lawnmower.
But you've got the best lawnmower in town, or maybe in Northeast Connecticut.
Well, it's great. I'm unrecognizable, and nobody knows it's me. But anyway,
I got a picture.
But anyway, it's so good to raise some money for my favorite charity in town, the Soup Kitchen, because their needs are never ending. And they always need help. And Kimberly works so hard over there with her staff. So I just, I figure when I come play the Shaboo stage, it's just, I'll just help the Soup Kitchen like I always do. So that's the deal. But we're getting weather.
We're going to have a beautiful, beautiful Saturday, all day and all night. And you're going to be there. And I am just so excited to go. And just tell us about the polka band.
Oh, man, we got a great polka band on the show with us. Dennis is his name, Dennis Polisky, and his Maestro Men. And they were nominated last year for a Grammy in the polka genre. They're in the National Hall of Fame. And believe it or not, they're based in Colchester, Connecticut.
I do believe it. I know that we have a great tradition here of people who love the polka band, and a great tradition of people here who immigrated here from Poland.
And we're dedicating his set to Virginia Seredny.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I remember Virginia Seredny.
Me too. Every year we'd get popsicles.
and she was on the air every single week.
She was so sweet.
Right
yeah.
here on
and boy, she knew her music too, huh?
She sure did.
Boy,
oh.
yeah.
Absolutely fabulous. So this is going to be a little bit of a different kind of a concert, starting off with the polka band.
Yeah, I mean, I figured there was a lot of Polish folks in our community and the surrounding towns. And it would be nice to do something for the Polish folks. And Dennis has a way of attracting lots of folks because he's so popular and so good. And we figured that, polka music, Susan, is the blues upside down.
I didn't ever think of it that way.
In heaven there is no beer. That's why we drink it. So it's upside down. It's rhythmically. Yeah. But so we're gonna have fun. We're gonna, as a matter of fact, at the end of the evening, we're going to have them come jam with us.
Oh, wow.
And have a big jam session.
That's going to be great.
Yeah, so it's just, we always try to have as much fun as possible and get into as much mischief, like
Good
Dennis
mischief.
the Menace,
Good
what
mischief. Excellent mischief. But this is excellent mischief for all of us to be down there at the Gilson Square and watch all the wonderful things that are going on the Shaboo stage. And then you with the Shaboo All-Stars will be going on around 8 p.m.?
8 p.m. sharp, we're going to go on, and I have the Uptown Horns, which is the Rolling Stones horn section, coming into town from New Jersey.
Wonderful.
And Christine Ullman from Saturday Night Live, the Beehive Queen, is coming to sing. She's wonderful, so we always look forward to her.
I do, too.
Coming to sing and play, and then Jeff Pitchell, who's a fabulous blues guitarist from the Hartford area and is extremely popular. We added him onto the show at the beginning of the week, and he always brings a lot of people. He's been hitting it hard with his folks. So, and when we have weather. So, I mean, Ian, it's for nothing. It's $15 a ticket. It's a pack of cigarettes and a soda.
Really? I mean, that is a bargain, I'd say. Wouldn't
Last
you?
year was 40.
Yeah. 15.
So I mean, I'm trying as hard as I can to battle with the problems that we're all going through with this inflation and all this stuff.
You're fixing it for everybody. I mean, now inflation is not existent because of this.
Well, yeah.
that was a joke. I'm not a good comedian, though.
How about I'm fixing to get rid of inflation.
How about that? Oh, there you go. Yeah, and you did it.
I'm trying. I don't know.
Single-handedly.
I don't know. Actually, I'm on parole right now. No. But I'm happy, Susan, because the Celtics won.
Yeah, and that has been the happy dance for Dennis as well. He loves the Celtics.
Oh, good. He must be happy, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. He's a Celtics guy all the way, and he's thrilled.
It'll be great. I'll be singing on stage Saturday night with what do you call it? My phone, watching in the NBA.
Aha.
Going, hey, you guys want to score?
Hey, I'm on now. I'm on.
There's Dennis. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, David, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine. I was just wondering if I could come up and cut the lawn with you.
I was just reading an article in the Current today about some guy who got a citation because he let his lawn grow too long, and to help to hunt the bees.
Right.
Oh,
And
nice.
no
yeah.
mow May, they call it, and it made me think of you. In fact, I saw it about 15 minutes ago.
Dennis, please don't give him my number. I'm trying to keep it in town. You know what I mean?
You don't want to drive that thing all the way down to West Hartford.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be a long ride for the tractor. Yeah.
Well, anyway, that was amazing. I came home from a swim up in Mansfield at the
Oh, at the
Community
health center.
Center.
Yeah, great.
and
Yeah.
I said, "What happened to the grass?"
I know. I had a lot of fun with that, Dennis. Yeah.
I just missed you. You apparently had taken off down the street. before I
Well,
got
the
home.
rabbi was cracking up. He had a couple neighbors he wanted me to cover.
Well, at least we have a fairly flat front yard.
Yes, and it's beautiful. And it looks beautiful all the time.
Well,
It
thank
does.
you.
It
Yeah.
does, and and it looked especially beautiful after you cut it, David.
Well, I think you're scaling the grades now, Dennis.
No, it really did. It was quite a change, actually.
So anyway, I was on I was on the line with Matt for a while before the show, and all of a sudden I got the sign that I was I was off, and I ran over and turned the radio on. And you guys are talking about the Dennis Polisky and the Maestros men,
Yes.
and I'm going, whoa, I'm missing out on that, and and I'm from New Britain. And
Oh
I grew
boy!
up in
Well,
New
yeah.
Britain,
There's a
and,
big Polish community there, and polka fans.
bigger
there.
now than ever, I think. But it was people ask me all the time when I say I'm from New Britain. They say, "Are you Polish?" I said, "No, I'm not Polish." There's other people who live in New Britain besides people who are Polish, but it is very popular.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And I love all kinds of music, as you know, and I keep up with it pretty well. I'm a big classical fan. And I remember when you were coming to the town council, and we were putting together, with obviously led by you, the Shaboo stage proposal,
Right.
and helped out by Susan. You were talking about how the stage is big enough to include a large
Symphony, yeah.
orchestra,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you know that a lot of great symphony composers have written polkas, and
I know, yeah.
it is considered to be a type of classical music.
Yeah.
So
and-
I'm looking forward to that a lot. I think that I've been on the internet and I've seen Dennis's band, and I think that's a great band. And by the way, I don't want to talk too much because I thought maybe you guys hung up on me because I have a reputation for talking too much. But,
no.
Dennis. Oh my
but
gosh.
anyway, but anyway, I remember Bill Rude, who is known
Yes.
to everybody.
Yeah.
And he always makes a big deal out of the fact whenever I talk to him that he's older than I am. I didn't think there was anybody around who was older than I am. But Bill Rude is supposedly a great polka dancer.
He is.
Really?
I've actually seen him do the polka dance at one of the events that we had in town. It might have been at the Elks, where they had polka music, and he's quite amazing with his wife. Absolutely.
Well, maybe
Well,
we
he
can
was
get him to
anyway.
maybe
I
we
don't
can
know
get
if
him
he
to
still
come
can
down.
do that, but
yeah, maybe he will.
I hope he's listening. I hope he's getting the word from somewhere, not from us. And I hope he's going to be there tomorrow for Dennis Polisky's band.
Yeah, the Maestro Men. Yeah,
The Maestro
absolutely.
Men,
Yeah.
I've heard of them,
Yeah.
and they're well known throughout not only throughout Connecticut but throughout the whole United States of America.
Yeah.
And they play the Midwest a lot. And this is a great idea you had, David, to bring them in. Because like I said, I like all kinds of music, and it's going to be great compliment to your band that's coming on at 8 p.m. I guess you're starting at 8 p.m., right?
8 p.m. sharp, and there's so many different wonderful walks of life that live here in Wyndham and Willimantic. It's just nice to maybe one year we'll do an Irish thing,
Yeah.
and then we'll just move around. We'll get an Italian thing going on, and
Don't forget the Germans. I'm German on my mother's side.
There you go. That'd be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's pretty close to Polish.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's right. They all love that stuff.
Well, those
so,
countries are all are relatively small. That's why a lot of them speak a lot of different languages.
Yeah,
which
you
is
know who
very
I wish
impressive
was
to
still
me.
with us? The nice man that they used to run our Polish club here in town, the heavyset man. Oh, he was so nice.
Oh yeah, I can't.
And they gave him a statue at the town hall, didn't they? Or what it was the seat.
There's a bench. It's
The bench, yeah.
It's a kind of marble type bench
Yeah.
in front of the town hall, and that was that whole thing was a project of John Lesko and Neil Messick.
Well, that's very nice. I always call it the bench for the bench.
Well, you know what? In recent years, when I've gotten to, because I don't have a key to the building anymore since I stopped being probate judge.
Uh-huh.
So when I get over there and the doors are locked and I'm waiting for Tommy DeVivo to come to let me in or somebody, I abuse that bench. I put it to good use.
Yeah, well, there
And when
you
I
go.
do,
yeah.
when I do, David, I think of Neil, who's still with us, and John, who is no longer with us. And
Yeah.
how much another talk about pillars of the community like yourself, another pillar of the community, and I miss him a lot.
And Andy Carey.
Oh, we just lost Andy. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But
Yeah.
Andy wasn't Polish.
No, he wasn't. No. he definitely called him like it was, but you know. So,
Whoa! Yes, he
Yeah.
did, and sometimes we had to agree to disagree.
I used to see him at the breakfast place, Dennis, and go, "Don't shoot."
Well, he and I were, the Democratic Party is a big tent,
That's right. It
and
is.
and Andy and I was on one side of the tent, and he was on the other. But around election time, when it came time to pick our leaders, we were both on the same page.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. He was a wonderful, wonderful citizen. Yep.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
he
We
was.
miss him as well.
As you are, Dennis. We
Well,
love you.
I'm-
You know.
Yes, we do. We love you very much.
As long as I get my lawn mowed, I got to tell you that I don't want to belabor the point. But
Get the
earlier
trimmer.
this
Get
year,
it. Get everything over there. The truck. Move it over
About
there.
3 weeks ago, I'll tell you, it looked worse than it did when you cut it.
Well, I'll
And
tell
I
you.
was wondering where the hell you were.
I'll tell you what. You call me anytime. I'll come help you.
Hey, you know what? One of the things I like to do is I like to sit on that tractor I have. It's not as big as yours, but I sit on that tractor and ride around the yard, and I feel like I'm actually doing something. And,
Well, you are. You're making it beautiful, and
Yeah.
you know what we could do is we could do a drag race down Church Street with the lawnmowers.
I wouldn't have a chance.
With Judge Danny, he would come out of the grave going, "Get him out of
Judge
here."
Danny, don't get me going about him. I can tell you some good stories.
Oh, I know.
I'm sure you could too.
Yeah, me too. You can. Well, when
Anyway,
Nora was
the
born,
concert
yeah.
is tomorrow, and people really, we're trying to spread the word. I put a number of posts on all over Facebook.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Oh yeah, about the starting time. I had the starting time at, I guess it's 5:00. You mentioned 5:30. I listened to your show with Keith Rice, and John Tewitt chimed in, and
Well, we changed it now to 5:00 because he wants to have an intermission, Dennis. You know.
oh yeah, well,
So
I
he's going to
understand.
do a pair of 60s with a little intermission. So
I understand.
yeah.
Well, one of the great things about the stage and about that whole area is it gets us together. It
Oh,
gets us all together,
Yeah.
and it gets us together not only with people from our town, but from all over the place who come and renew their acquaintances.
It's a wonderful thing.
I'm very proud of the whole sector of town down there. It's been, what's happened there has been nothing short of miraculous, and they're even using Edith Pregg's bus now to take people to the senior center now. I feel so good that it's getting used, the bus.
That's
I think
wonderful.
that's wonderful,
Yeah.
David. I
That's
remember
great.
when you got that bus for them, and I knew they were going to put it to good use. And you know what? The seniors I love the idea of the senior community center because the seniors are now in the same building with the kids.
Right.
And it's so important for us to be as integrated as we possibly can in every respect. And now that I'm older, that includes the old folks and the young people, because I coached softball, Little League softball for years, and I'll tell you what, it makes me feel a lot younger.
Well,
And you know what I do? I go over and meet the youngsters that are in the gym,
Yep.
and I go, "I'd like to introduce myself. I'm the guy that invented hip."
Yep.
That's great.
And they just look at me like,
What does
Hey,
that
who's
mean?
this guy? Hey, get the guy a wheelchair, will you? Get him out of here.
You should see the looks I get sometimes.
It's
But
beautiful. It's funny. I have fun with it. You know what I mean?
It's
I got a
very-
few years on you too, but I'll tell you what. Every day
very
is a gift. Every day is another wonderful day.
That's right, Dennis. You got a perfect outlook, and
Oh yeah.
you know, you and I will be lawn buddies forever and ever.
You got that right.
Yeah.
You got that
Well,
right. And,
speaking
and,
of the
and,
lawn, I just want to say something about that.
you know, again,
about
Susan
the
Johnson's not going to get a
beautiful-
word in edgewise.
Beautiful.
She wanted me to
Jilson
call in. I
Square.
said, you don't need
Still
me. You
going.
can handle it without me, because if I call in, you know I'm gonna.
Well, yeah, of
I'm
course,
gonna
you're
run
gonna take
my
over.
mouth a bit.
Well, thank you for watching listening to another edition of Let's Talk About It. We really had a good time talking lawnmowers with Dennis.
All right,
You know, it was great. It was the longest.
Christine Ullman.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Please,
Christine
please
Ullman.
Talk about Christine.
I haven't seen it for a while, but I have seen a video of her on Facebook
Uh-huh.
singing "Clouds,"
Yeah.
Joni Mitchell song that
Oh,
Judy
yeah.
Collins
Oh,
Yeah.
popularized.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it is amazing. What an amazing singer she is.
She's
And
wonderful.
I'm so glad she's going to be there. And I'm going to say one more thing. I'm going to shut up. Listen, Christine Ullman, she goes on Facebook after your concerts, and she comments on Facebook about the concerts and about the players and about you. And I have responded to her several times, and she has answered me back, and we become friends on Facebook.
She's a lionheart.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm so glad to be able to see her again tomorrow night. So looking forward to that. Now, it's your turn, Susan.
Well-
And David, you too.
Okay.
Okay, well, we're on. But we just want to just say how pleased we are that David is doing this and having this great event tomorrow. And that we're going to have wonderful weather. And it's at the Jilson Square. And they're going to be using our Shaboo stage. And I have to thank you, David, for your work on the Shaboo stage, because you have made that so that it's so versatile and so becoming to the area. And it's just a wonderful thing that you've done to help us with that. You've made a great contribution. You've made contributions all over the town. And, of course, this, as usual, your contribution with this particular show has to do with raising funds for our soup kitchen and the needy who are in big need in this
Susan,
town.
I
in this
gave so
area.
much money away last year, I need a ride home.
Well, don't you worry. I'll give you a ride home. You can,
Hey, and we're happy because the Celtics are winning, right, Dennis?
You got that right. I'm sitting here. I'm wearing my Celtics hat right now.
Atta boy, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I got a Celtics bathing suit that I swim in up at the pool.
We'd like to dedicate this to Johnny Most.
Oh, Johnny Most, yeah, the greatest.
He's the greatest, man.
He was the greatest. And of course, let's not forget Marty Glickman,
That's right.
who did the Yukon games with Wayno.
Yeah, but we're going to have to get the cigar out for Red. Light the cigar.
Light it up one more time for Red.
I love you, Dennis.
Love you too, man.
All
Come
right.
on,
Bye-bye.
you guys, take over.
all right. You're great.
Don't tempt me.
You're tempted.
All right, tomorrow the concert starts at 5:00 at the Jilson Square. It's like 533 Main Street, I believe. But I may not have it exactly right. It's 5:30 something.
Well, I think you can recognize it when you drive around the block.
Well, you
there.
sure can.
And we're gonna have some door prizes, win a date with Dennis. There's gonna be a lot of good stuff going on
Yeah.
tomorrow. So show up early.
You too can mow the
Yeah,
lawn.
you'll love it. It'll be
stop
the
it.
It'll be the longest. That day will be the longest week of your life. No, I was just kidding. Yeah.
All right. Come on.
Bye.
Who else
Bye-bye.
is Jeff? Talk a little bit about Texas flood and Jeff
Oh,
Mitchell.
yeah. We didn't talk
Okay,
about
we
Texas
will.
flood. Yeah, say hi about Texas flood.
Yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan fans. Jeff Pitchell's on the date, and he's got a huge following all through New England. He plays beautifully and has a big fan base, and he's just a consummate entertainer, great player, great singer, great friend. We've been friends for 40 years together. We've fought a bunch of wars together in the music world, so it's like it's always nice to share the stage with Jeff. He'll be on with me, and 6 horns. The Uptown horns are 4, and then 2 more incredible horn players. So, and we're going to dedicate the whole evening to Tina Turner. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
yeah.
Such a big loss. Such a
Yeah,
big loss.
she was unbelievable.
She
wasn't
was phenomenal.
And, my horn player played all that. I'm your private dancer. He was in the band when she was peaking.
Oh, wow.
And he played the Rio de Janeiro date for,
Wow.
walked out to 250,000 people.
Oh,
And,
my goodness.
yeah, he said it was unbelievable. She was an unbelievable woman.
Yes. Wow, really powerful. What
She was
energy.
Wonderful
What a
person,
voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just fabulous.
She'll be missed. She's one of the all-time greats.
Well, that's wonderful that you're dedicating this to Tina Turner. That is absolutely
Another amazing thing. I don't want to interrupt, but the ticket price is amazing. $15 if you buy your tickets in advance, and that would be at the co-op.
Yeah, but we're going to charge him $50 to get out. No, I was just kidding.
It's a joke.
I was just kidding. No, it is a good deal, isn't it, Dennis?
It's an incredible deal. It's like free. It's pretty much close to being free.
Well, it's like for a young person, it's like a pack of cigarettes and a soda,
You got that
That's right. That's right.
and you're in for the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can't do it.
It's
I
an
can't do it
amazing
any
price
cheaper.
for a whole lot of great musicians and a good long concert. Because you said you're gonna start at 5. You're gonna finish up around 10:30. Is what you said on the Keith Rice show.
Yeah, and I'm gonna sing Mrs. Greer's Jesse's tune.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
I'll sing the Willimantic song as usual.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I mean,
we love
it's,
that. Yes.
I mean, all this stuff. I mean, how can you stay away? I mean,
I will take that personally because we live in their home now.
there you go.
Yeah.
I know you do.
know.
That's what I mean.
And that's I never had the pleasure of meeting them, but I'll tell you, everything I hear about them, they were fantastic people.
It doesn't get any finer than those two people.
That's right.
Yeah, they did so much for talk about you've done so much, but they did a lot. They were there before you were, when you were just a young sprout.
Well, I used to go over there once in a while with my parents.
Yep.
And I'd say to Mrs. Greer, "Do you want me to leave?" And she'd go, "No." I go, "Most other parents do." She laughed, And my father was cracking up. "All right, get lost,
Didn't you play songs with her? Didn't you play the piano with her?
Yes, I did. Yeah. She was just
amazing.
Wonderful,
And we were thrilled when we did that fundraiser for her for the Mill Museum, and you came to that.
Yes.
And it was a great time, and we were able to play the Willimantic song.
It was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And we had a
fabulous.
video of her singing on Tin Pan Alley.
Yes.
And with a piano
that.
player.
Yeah.
She was an understudy apparently for Sophie Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I don't know how many of our listeners remember Sophie, but I certainly do. I remember seeing her on the Ed Sullivan Show quite frequently.
Oh yeah, she was.
Yep.
Yeah, she was unbelievable.
You know what was really
Without any further ado.
right. And
From
you know what
Hartford,
was
Connecticut.
Yeah.
unusual circumstance that occurred when we did that fundraiser for the Mill Museum. It was the Sophie Tucker celebration in Hartford at the same time.
Right.
Which I was like, wow, this is really,
I know.
talk about a coincidence.
I know.
That's
Well,
pretty
David, I
amazing.
heard you talking on the Keith Rice Show, and you talked about how, the years there where you sat in the chair on the stage, and now you only sit in the chair between numbers sometimes.
Yeah, when I get a little tired, I'll have a seat for a while, but I'm standing most of the set now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Fantastic.
and I always dye my hair just before I go on, all three of them. And I'm starting to fool everybody. They think I'm only 65 now instead of 98.
Well, that's why I'm wearing my Celtics hat now.
That's
I'm
right.
follically challenged as well, and I know how that feels. But somehow I managed to get to live with it.
Well, I'm lucky, Dennis. I go see Hanu, and he
He's
he cures the how would you say it? Do you want me to charge you by the hair? I said, yeah, that'd be great, Hanu, if you could do that. No, but he's a wonderful guy and a great singer and the best haircut. And people come from Greenwich to get a haircut with him.
He's been around a long time.
Yeah, he's another treasure that we have in Willimantic.
That's right, another local treasure, and we've got a lot of them. And we're going to all see each other tomorrow at the concert. The
Okay.
Shabool
That'd be great,
All-Stars
Dennis. I
reunion.
look forward to seeing you, man.
Yeah, one more time. Tell everybody about the concert tomorrow. David, please.
Yep, the doors are at 4 o'clock, the gates at 4, music at 5 with Dennis Polisky and his Maestro men. They'll play a pair of 60s, finish promptly at 7. We'll set the stage for the All-Stars. All-Stars, I promise, 8 p.m. promptly. We'll be on, and we'll just play one long set till they throw us out.
Well, we love that. We love all the things you do for us, and thank you so much for doing this to help raise the money for the Soup Kitchen. You have done so many great things, David, for our town and for the region. Thank you so much for being here tonight and
Susan,
all your work. It's just amazing.
Susan, we're like Scotch and soda, aren't we?
Thank you, David. We will look forward to seeing you
That's
tomorrow.
great. Yes,
Yeah, Dennis, thanks so much. All the best, man.
Okay, we know we're going to have great weather, so
That's right.
all systems are go.
All right.
I told everybody you ordered it.
No, that was Wayno. You got me mixed up with him.
Oh, Wayno will get upset.
He'll
if
be
we can-
jealous.
Dennis is taking over the weather.
Okay.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye, David. Thank you
everybody.
so much.
Yeah,
Take care.
bye-bye.
And stay tuned for our next guest. Welcome back, everyone. This is Susan Johnson, and I'm here now with a wonderful guest, Lori Brown, who is from the League of Conservation Voters here. And we're going to talk about some of the bills that are pending in the House and in the Senate and that have had a lot of hearings and a lot of discussions. So welcome to the show, Lori. We're really pleased to have you here.
Thank you so much, Representative Johnson. I'm really happy to be here, and we're coming into the home stretch, as you know, of the legislative session, and so many good bills that all the advocates and the League and everyone and you have been working on. It's really just fighting the clock right now, and trying to get our bills up front and over the finish line. So, yeah, there's a lot of really good bills this year. Obviously, not all of them are going to make it, so we're doing our best.
Well, you do amazing work, and you're there all the time, and you're really working so hard to make sure everybody understands these bills, because sometimes it's hard to make all the connections. And I think that it would be great for us to start with Senate Bill 962 and 963. The first one I think is so important. I think it's something that people really have spent a lot of time fully understanding, and that bill, the 962, Senate Bill 962, prohibits the rodenticides. And we know that what happens when, say, a mouse eats something like, poison, and then the owl gets it, that kills the owl.
Yes, this is one of the most tragic problems that we have right now. The issue of pesticides in general in the state and globally is just a wild overuse and misunderstanding of how dangerous these are to the, sort of what you call the non-target species. So yes, exactly right. The rodenticides are just what they sound like. They're the poisons that kill mice and rats and other rodents, and they're those in those bait boxes that are outside in the back of like restaurants and homes and so forth. And the mice go in, they eat it, and they don't die right away, and that's the problem. So it builds up in their system. They're out there, and they're the natural prey of like raptors, owls, eagles, foxes, anything that then eats that mouse eventually will die, but it's a very, very cruel death. It's the particular what they're using now, the rodenticides, will slowly bleed to death internally. So it's just a really horrific thing that is completely avoidable. There are all kinds of things that are alternatives to that. So in SB 962, a lot of the wildlife groups and the rehabilitation groups for animals are just seeing unprecedented numbers of deaths. I mean, you might have seen the headlines of the American bald eagle that was poisoned. The headlines in the Current.
I did see that. Yes, absolutely. Very tragic.
And that's rodenticides. That's what that does.
That's right.
Yeah, it's awful.
Well, it is.
So
I wanted to also connect it with your pets. So if you have a cat,
exactly,
then the cat eats the mouse, and then that kills your cat. So it can be a very, not just wildlife, but also your pets can also suffer from eating something that has also consumed a rodenticide. And there are numerous other ways to address that and to keep them out of your house or keep them away from your business, your restaurant, places where how the food is stored. Also, tell us a couple of things that people might be able to think of as they listen to the show that they could do other than a rodenticide.
Well, I mean, there are briefing papers actually that are on our website for many of the issues that we're tracking and following. So very simple sort of explainers. And we rely heavily on the experts for all of these issues.
Sure.
I work with, of course, all the groups in the state, so I'm not one particular issue over another, and I don't profess to be the expert in all of this. But what we do is really kind of tee up the big issues so that and make sure that everybody understands what these things do. That's to say the different bills and the different things. Like this would be an actual ban on the rodenticides. That, of course, everybody that I've talked to in the legislature absolutely wants this to go forward. The problem is that, we are also faced with the opposition, and the only opposition really to this is are the folks who are the pesticide control businesses that make money off this. And they're not willing to use these are the cheapest, easiest ones to use. Right? And they could even be using earlier versions of it, which actually do kill the rodents immediately. We're not advocating for that. But there are all different kinds of products and services and, things that they can do. And
could you tell us their website that the people can go and look at?
Oh, sure. Yeah. In fact, and I'm looking at sort of like the rodenticide fact sheet right now. But the league site is the it's the Connecticut League of Conservation Voters, and it's ctlcv.org. So ctlcv.org. You can also find there lots of information on how which bills have come out, which bills we're watching. There's testimony. We provide very simple sort of testimony on the key issues. And by the way, we also do a scorecard. So we make sure that constituents know how their lawmakers are voting on these very important bills. And I just want to point out to your constituents that you have done remarkably well on our scorecard, and you've earned 100%, voting record on your votes on environmental bills for the last 4 years. So thank you, and we applaud you for that.
Well, thank you for that.
Let's make it a fifth.
Okay.
I hope. Yeah, and so again, ctlcv.org.
Okay, and then I'm going to go down to the 963 for the neonicotinoids, and that, of course, is something that I worked on when I chaired public health, and they they're really very dangerous for our bee population, and they really make a problem for how their receptors are being addressed. So their acetylcholine doesn't work well once they ingest some of that.
Yeah, the neonicotinoids, and people just call them neonics because no one can pronounce it after a while. But the neonics is a whole class of insecticides, and they're the most widely used, I think, in the world. But they are directly linked, and you know this, of course, but they're directly linked to massive bee and pollinator die-off. And so they're not just stuff that gets sprayed on, and then washes off. They actually get absorbed into the leaves and the plants and the fruits, and they continue to kill, the pollinators that we rely on for food, for farming, for, our flowers. And in fact, I don't know if you know this, but it's No Mow May.
Yes, I do know this. We were just talking about it on our show with our good friend David Foster, who is the leader of the Shubu All-Stars, and we're having a great celebration here tomorrow with David Foster, but he's very, very familiar with No Mow May. And he's done great work, and so I can't help but plug his show for tomorrow afternoon.
Hey, I'll have to listen. I can't get it all the way up here. I'm above Hartford, but I'm going to have to find it.
It's a live show here in Willimantic, so you'd have to come here, and if you do come, it is $15 or $20 at the door, and it's outside. It's at the Shubu stage outside at our Jilson Square. It's our big park where everybody gathers to have great times, and the money that we collect for this will really help the food soup kitchen. So he donates all of his time and energy towards all the great programs that we have here to help the poor. So just since you mentioned No Mow May, David Foster is very, very familiar with No Mow May.
That is wonderful. Thank you for doing that.
Sure.
You may very well see me. You're so lucky to have fabulous weather, too. So I hope you get a lot of good people out there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wonderful thing going on.
The nomome, and even if people are you know, if even if people are really have to use a certain pesticide, at least don't do it when all the, when everything is coming out and flowering and all the birds and the bees and everybody is just out there, trying to make everything sparkle this spring. It's really good that you're doing that. And the neonics, this is a flat out ban. This bill, you may remember, almost made it over the finish line last year, and it would have banned the neonics altogether. And so, but it would exempt, agriculture, for example, or emergency, like invasive species, like for saving particular trees, like I said, agriculture. So all of the where it's potentially not replaceable. I mean, there's always alternatives. We know that.
And again, tell people where they can look on your website again, so that they can see how to avoid this and what they can use as an alternative.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's at ctlcv.org. If you just go, that's the Connecticut League of Conservation Voters.org, ctlcv.org, and we have great simple briefing papers. Great explainers, sort of one-pagers. For the general public to understand what neonicotinoids are, what the problem is, what the solutions are, some fast facts, and who you can call for more information, or we can look it up. And
excellent.
Like there's a whole Beyond Pesticides. So when you go there, you would just click on the issues up top, and you come down to our briefing papers.
Perfect. Those two are things that I wanted to hit on first, because I want to make sure people have a chance to know that they can look on your website, know that we're working on those things, the legislature, and those are things that lots of people have huge agreements on. So hopefully we'll be able to move that along this session. We also have a bill, House Bill 6397, carbon emissions.
Yes, that is, well, as I think everybody knows, we're in a climate crisis. There's no question about it. And yet there's still some lawmakers up there, I have to say, who still, maybe the outliers, but people who are still making decisions that don't really believe it's a problem or that it's not human caused. So, we have that to contend with. And then there is of course, the fossil fuel industry that is always in every state legislature trying to do what they can to preserve the status quo around our reliance on fossil fuels. So it's always a battle, and it will continue to be a battle for the rest of our foreseeable future. I mean, for the rest of my life, I'm going to be fighting against climate change.
Well, we will all be doing that in our own ways.
We'll all be doing that. Yep.
Absolutely.
And so we're not on track. We do have a law in statute in Connecticut that requires us to meet certain targets to reduce our polluting emissions. So the Global Warming Solutions Act is all the policies that we try to pass year after year will get us to those targets. The problem is we don't have any kind of plan to do it. We've got all these great, reports and recommendations and year after year data and information, but there's nothing that ties them all together to actually reach those targets for 2020, 2030, 2050. And so the most important legislation, we had a very large bill that would have done tremendous about that. Didn't make it. They didn't take action on that. It got through committee, and a few committees later, it got killed. But we've doubled down on a very important bill that actually would create or calls for the roadmap, an actual, give Connecticut the various options, look and see what it's going to take to reduce emissions in transportation, to reduce, to put energy efficiency together for our buildings, to make sure that, our general emissions and energy production is clean energy. So there's all these tracks that we should be going on, but nobody is responsible for getting us there. I mean, DEP does a lot of good work, the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, but they don't have the authority right now. We're set up so that every single policy or update has to go through the legislature. So it really kind of ties the hands of everyone to just get to it, right?
Right.
So the roadmap will actually I think, address all of the concerns about who does what, when, and how, and what authorities.
That's so
and so
important.
That's fixed on.
I just
It
wanted
is,
to
it
mention
is.
one thing about that when I was reading it, and that's that you're looking to invoke the National Emergency Environmental
No.
Act. No.
No. Actually, what we have, that was the original version
Okay.
that came out. So no, it's when the big bill died, the 6397.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the 1145, the big global
Okay.
warming solution climate bill. 6397 is really intensely, simply focused on the roadmap, creating the roadmap. That's
Okay.
all it would do.
Well, thank you for that
And
clarification.
Sure, and then you would have stakeholders that would be able to be part of it. There would all kinds of things that could be beneficial for the economy and for businesses that want to try to help reach those emissions, and for agencies and everything else. So there will be a lot of buy-in, a lot of review. Everybody will be part of this, and so we just need to put something in place that will keep us moving forward towards our emissions. If we don't pass that bill, it means nothing will be done on climate this session.
Well, we want to
And
do
maybe not
something.
next
And I
year.
just wanted to mention one other thing because we're running down until the last couple of minutes. And that is
Okay.
we want to make sure that we try and figure out a way to do an organic waste plan. And I think that that is going to be very, very important for everybody. I think lots of people don't want to. I know lots of people who just cannot stand putting their organic waste in the waste and in the garbage. And they could just think of all the things we could do. And we've got these facilities now that you can take your organic waste to and have it turned back into something that can be used again for fertilizer and stuff, and it's organic instead of something that's chemically created.
You are so right on the money. I mean, we have 20% of our total waste that we create in Connecticut gets shipped out of state as garbage to be burned or landfilled, and we really want the bill 6664. At its core, it has food waste diversion. That's what everybody can agree on.
Yes, absolutely.
And so and I know that, as the chairs of the Environment Committee have said, we can't do it all at once, although there are a lot of things that we should be doing right now. I mean, we clearly create way too much waste. There's so many other things we could do immediately.
I'm
but
just thrilled that this
diversion-
is coming up because this is so important. And I know that I've looked at different systems for this, and if New York City can do it, we can do it.
Absolutely. Our neighbors all have different types of, things that but Connecticut is often, land of steady habits. You got to see everybody else do it first. And, it's, so yes, that is something that people should pay real attention to. It's, House Bill 6664. And it also creates, I believe, because it's not out yet and it's a big bill. So we don't really know what's in it entirely.
Right.
So, but we're fighting to make sure that the waste diversion is such a key piece.
It is key. It's just think, in the long run, it will save a fortune, and it will also help the environment. There's just so many positives to, not mixing your organic waste with all the other stuff that's waste. That we've got recycling fairly well done, but this is big. This is a big one, and this is something that'll make a huge success for our state and our economy and the environment.
And thank you for fighting for the environment and for these kinds of bills. We need more people up there like you who actually understand the issues and know how important it is to look beyond, the next year or two and think about the future and what we can do now works. What we are doing now works. We just aren't doing it fast enough or big enough.
Well, we got to keep moving, and without you, we can't do anything as well as we could do with you. So we're very thrilled to have you here and talking on the show here. And tell us again how to connect with your organization.
Yes, just go to our website, ctlcv.org, O-R-G. So it's the Connecticut League of Conservation Voters.org. And
Great.
We'd love to, contact us if you have any questions about the bills or legislation or you want to get involved.
Thank you so much, Lori Brown from the League of Conservation Voters, and I'm looking forward to having you back on the show. Thank you so much, Lori.
Thank you, Representative Johnson.